I'm giving you a blessing of a happy holidays to you. I'd first like to give a moment of simply just a healing happy holidays, and that includes for whether you are celebrating Hanukkah or whether you're celebrating Christmas. And so I first like to say to Justin that we are not going to mail anything until we know for sure this is your address. And we want to wish a blessing to your entire family, including Liliana and your newest little one, and Rochelle. And we're going to do a little journey of what we call a holiday healing that matters especially for all of us, including myself and yourself and others. Because this particular pandemic has made a lot of humans lose a lot of things materially. But I can tell you it does not mean that they stop loving their families. Family is not based on what you have. It's based on how honest you are. So we're going to start a journey which unfortunately started out honest. You were in a very beautiful home that was 2 blocks from the beach, and I worked 3 jobs at that time. I worked for Rainbow Promotions, for Al Williams, co-producing huge festivals and fundraisers. I donated to a school that was for inner city kids, and I started the youth stage. Then I also worked nights waiting tables at Al Williams Jazz Club upstairs called Birdland West in Long Beach. And I also worked for my college professor, Dr. George Shaw, and I went to his house and I would watch his beautiful little 3 kids at the same time working with him as his assistant for all of his classes and all of the work he did in his particular industry. I took a lot of classes that were not just about theater or music. I actually took psychology. And then I worked another job as the Long Beach Convention Center. And on weekends, I painted houses. And I can show you that I have all the pay stubs of everything. So the reason why I'm sharing your life book and the reason why it's with me is because I have advocated for thousands and thousands of domestic violence victims that were mothers and children that also their little kids were given these life books, and they were told that only one of their parents cared, the new parents, and that the original parent didn't care. And all the little life books had these pages that said she didn't have a job and she didn't care about you. So those pages are going bye-bye. And there's a lot of these pages that say things like the judge realized she would never get it together and it was all her fault. And we knew that your new family cared about you and the old mother could care less about you. So I'm doing my own healing to throw those pages to the wind. And because we know families forever, I want to introduce you to some of your family members. So my grandmother's sitting on the couch to the left. That's Grandma Ann. She was just loved my grandma. She painted those beautiful oil paintings. Next to her is me. I was 14. And next to me is Michael, my favorite cousin, who's a fireman and a paramedic. And he's got 6 beautiful children that are part black. And right behind him was my mother, who unfortunately was a domestic violence victim most of my childhood. So who would know that sometimes what happens to us as a kid stays with us. Right next to my mom is my favorite aunt and my uncle. He was amazing. He used to take me flying. And Aunt Ellie. And, Aunt Ellie loved me a whole lot. So did my mom. Did it mean that one loved me more or one loved me less or one didn't care about me and one did? No, they both loved me. In fact, my aunt used to say things like, you should be living in my home and you shouldn't be around all that domestic violence. Well, when you were little, I was around domestic violence just like my mom. The difference is, instead of me growing up in domestic violence in my childhood, you did not grow up in domestic violence, and you grew up with a beautiful family that had more than me. I was supposed to get a safe house. A safe house is for mothers and kids, and it has everything we need. And that way we can leave our house and know that we're still safe. So I didn't get that. And I'm not the only one that didn't get a safe house. Nobody got a safe house. Thousands and thousands of moms were supposed to get them. And these are the beautiful, beautiful parents that I too care about. And I'm so sorry for your loss of your mom, Lupe. And I really wanted to help her, as you know, bring her to Hope for Cancer and some other beautiful places. So these are the beautiful parts that are true. You do have some of my looks, but you also have some of my thoughts and some of my movements. And this is the part of your life book that was absolutely the few pages that were truthful. These are the many, many pages that are not. And they are doing something that they do to every single child, which is they want you to believe that you were given away and unloved. And by them believing that, and by you believing it, and by them telling you things that are not true, what it does is it allows you to immediate bond with your new family and to immediately detach from me. So there's this beautiful book in the planet. It's called The Course in Miracles. And there's a wonderful, wonderful thing about this beautiful book. It's focused on God's will, not on the manipulation of the government. It's focused purely on God. Let's see what page we open it up to. Oh, look. I feel the love of God within me now. God is unconditional. God would never lie to you, and neither would I. And I'm going to tell you honestly that it is so easy in this time that we live in, where we've seen so many beautiful black and brown lives being damaged by the government. And we believe, whether we're Native American, whether we are Jewish, whether we are Filipino or black or brown, that we should be treated less than. And I just hope that we could return to love. Marianne Williamson, you might have heard of her. And I've been in many of her classes and supported her in her own workshops. And I can share with you that when we return to love and we leave out every other thought, then we come into the present moment. If we learn the word forgiveness for what the government has done wrong to us, whether it be a false police report, whether it be being attacked walking down the street with your friends in our Long Beach community, and whether it be them building lies on a piece of paper, I believe you. I don't believe the government lies. So I'm asking you this holiday to return to love, to be present, to know that nobody unwanted you, and that you've been adopted in my heart since the day you were born from me. I've adopted you. You've been in my heart and soul. I've gone everywhere on the planet to try to bring that love into your soul. And if you believe that you're unwanted, you are now newly adopted again. That's right. You're adopted over and over and over and over, and so am I, because my own family and your own family is our own family. Family is unconditional, and so is love. Love is compassionate, love is understanding, and love would never be a little tiny bird that would blame the other birds that were violated of violence. That's called victim blaming. So the government does this for their own ulterior motives financially, and we support and share that this holiday you are always welcome anytime to contact me. I will not send anything in the mail until I know it's really you. I have no idea, obviously, anything about your family, and you don't know anything about mine. I do have a beautiful number of Hispanic friends that are very special, amazing people. They have an amazing construction company. They are beautiful souls. They have amazing friends like the consulate. And I have represented Hispanic businesses that were being violated by the government in real courtrooms. I have learned to let love roll. And I share that love is the answer to every question. Love is the only action from every reaction. And love and affirmations of how beautiful you are loved, how beautiful your children are loved, and how beautiful you will always be loved by those around you and those that are a long way away is always the solution to every question. Namaste.